Hi guys, I'm just going to go over an 8 marker with you and how to answer it again, given that quite a lot of you will have mocks coming up soon. So an 8 marker in geography will nearly always use the word assess, and assess means weigh up both sides. So weigh up the advantages and disadvantages, or weigh up the pros and cons. And for the 8 marks, you need to be making at least 2 points for and 2 points against. So you need to use 2 of your points for advantages. So what are the advantages of coastal management schemes, let's say? So you need to come up with 2 reasons, and you need to come up with fairly detailed explanation of those reasons as well. In the mark scheme, the examiners talk about the answer being in detail, each of your points being in detail, and that needs to use some locational factors or some facts and figures, etc., to really make it quite meaty. So there's no just point just make it a sentence, because you're not going to get 3 or 4 marks for just writing a sentence. So you need to be given the factor, given the reason, and then explaining in some detail. So what I always think is you need to be saying to yourself, and then. So why are coastal defences positive, maybe? So they're positive because they protect the area, and then they stop businesses getting ruined, and then that stops the businesses from losing money, and then the local council don't need to spend money to repair the damage, etc. Don't write the and then as well, but just so it keeps you thinking about developing that point. Then make another point for an advantage, and that should be 4 marks, and then the next 4 marks will go to your disadvantages. Now what I would always do, even though the question says assess not evaluate, is I would just round up maybe in general what overall are there more advantages or disadvantages, or are they kind of equal, and that could just be a sentence or 2 at the end. It's not going to take you too long, and you're really going to show the examiner that you understand what the question's asked. So for 8 markers, like I said, you need to be making sure that you've made 2 points for and 2 points against, and you've explained and expanded on those points, because otherwise you just won't get the 8 marks. Now also, you've got to consider how much room you've been given to write. So you must really, unless your handwriting's really, really small, you almost must try to fill that. So if you're only writing like 4 or 5 lines, you're really not going to get 8 marks, because that's just not going to be enough explanation of your points to get those marks. So have a look at how much space you've got and make sure you kind of fill that space. Quite often you'll end up writing a little bit more, but do make sure that you have written at least 2 points for and 2 points against. And then, like I said, I would always just write a little kind of evaluative statement at the end, just to ensure that you get all of those marks. So in that way, you should be well on your way getting 8 out of 8 marks for any question that you're asked in the exam.